My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Jivanmukti Viveka. We completed chapter 1 of Jivanmukti Viveka. What is chapter 1? Chapter 1 is about Jivanmukta Lakshana, the stages of enlightenment. The chapter 2 is about sadhana, how to become Jivanmukta. What are the stages of involved in enlightenment, and what are the characteristics of enlightenment? What are the different types of sannyasa, vividisha sannyasa, vidvat sannyasa, and then Jivanmukta Lakshana in terms of Sthita Pratna Lakshana, Bhakta Lakshana, Gunatita Lakshana, Brahman, then Atita Ashrami. So in 5 ways, Jivanmukta was described in the chapter 1. So now how to become Jivanmukta? That is the question. What stops you from becoming Jivanmukta? That's why the chapter title is called Vasana Kshaya, becoming free from vasanas. So let us understand this. As I said earlier, there are 7 stages of enlightenment, from Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi, Sattopati, Asamasakti, Padartha Bhavani, Turiyaga. So somebody is in stage 1, 2, 3. What sadhana has to do to reach 4 is the question. Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi. How do you get to stage 4? And one who is in stage 4, how we can get to stage 7? This is the topic of discussion. So Swami Vidyananda says there are 3 factors required for enlightenment. 3 factors required for Jivanmukti. Okay. So 3 important factors. All the 3 have to be achieved. Not that I will achieve something and I will not achieve something. First is called Tattva Dnana, or self-knowledge. Will develop the Viveka, discrimination. It's called Atma Dnana. How do you develop it? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa is the Tattva Dnana. This is actually chapter 1 of Jivanmukti Viveka. No, this is the bottom from foundation. Right? So Tattva Dnana or Shravana Manana Nidhyasa is the first foundation. Shravana Manana Nidhyasa, once it does, Vasana Kshaya and Manonasha has to happen. How it happens is we are discussing. Tattva Dnana is chapter 1. Also, entire Tattva Dnana is Panchadashi of Vidyaranya. Vidyaranya has written one whole book called Panchadashi for Tattva Dnana. So then Vasana Kshaya is required. Vasana Kshaya means freedom from residual desires, impressions. Then finally, Manonasha has to happen. Thinkative mind has to be dropped. So now, what is the relationship between these 3? How they are related? How to achieve it is the discussion in the chapter 2. Very detailed discussion is there. We'll see. So now, what exactly is this? All of us, there's a lady here. She is a human robot. Now, what is the difference between robot and human being? Human beings are able to take conscious decisions and change what is required. Robots are programmed to do something. Human beings, all of us, behave more like a robots, programmed beings. We go through same habit pattern again and again. Same anger, same fear, same jealousy. So the whole habit pattern keeps on repeating based on the programs which are there in our head. Head is called mind. Are you able to notice patterns in your life? What causes fear? What causes anxiety? What causes stress? What causes jealousy? So these patterns repeat continuously in our life. Okay. So now these are based on the programs. Who has done the programming? When you are born, your brain and nervous system is fresh like a computer, pure computer. Lot of societal input goes into that. Unconscious programs develop in you. Then you start living like a biological robot. The entire spiritual journey is to come out of these programs. And how these programs work? There are subtle desires and vasanas, which are there recorded in memory. Subtle desires and vasanas, impressions. It's called vasanas. They become thoughts. Subtle desires become thoughts, and thoughts become gross desires. Then I'll go do some action to get that. Then action will come back with impressions. Oh, this is good, this is not good, this is favorable, this is not favorable, I like this, I don't like this. They're called samskaras. Samskaras will lead to subtle impressions, strengthen the subtle impressions or change the impressions, samskaras. I like something means that vasana will get strengthened. I don't like something means that vasana will get weakened. So this is how our entire life, we don't have a control over life. Our vasanas and samskaras are driving our life. Our programs are driving our life. Right? So vasana kshaya means coming out of these programs. So to give in another way, somebody has seen it's an ice cream. Right? There's an impression. I like the ice cream. That to what flavor? Vanilla flavor or mango flavor. I like some flavor of ice cream. I don't like chocolate flavor. Like and dislike is called raga and dvesha. Raga and dvesha is called samskara. For everything in the world, we have a raga and dvesha. I like this, I don't like this. They're called samskaras. Raga, dvesha. So now, when you go to next time I visit a shop, the tendency, the samskara gives rise to vasana. Vasana, it triggers vasana. I want vanilla ice cream. I don't want chocolate ice cream. Like and dislike. So then he take vanilla ice cream. Very nice. So that then that samskara gets strengthened. Okay. Then further action will take place. Again, you are in the loop. You are in a program. You'll never be able to come out of the program. So you don't have to come out of all the programs. You have to come out of the programs which are causing you suffering. You should develop some good programs, but you should avoid and remove programs which are causing you suffering. That's the purpose of Vasanakshaya. So how does it work? How to make Vasanakshaya happen? Right? How to remove latent impressions. So who is in charge of our mind? Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. There are four aspects of our mind. Buddhi is intellect. Okay. Manas is the sense mind or lower mind, which interacts with the outer world. Raga and Dvesha develop there. Ahankara is the ego, ownership. Chitta is the memory. Now, who should be in charge of this? The Buddhi or the intellect should be in charge of this. But instead of being in charge of that, Ahankara becomes the charge. Ego becomes the charge. So the entire purpose is through discrimination, come out of the clutches of the ego. So when you are able to come out of the clutches of the ego, with the discrimination, you will be able to remove, you will not respond to vasanas. So then gradually vasanas will be removed. The discrimination is the faculty by which vasana kshaya can happen. For example, I have diabetes. And every time I see the sweet, I want to put it into my mouth. The moment I see the sweet, I like some raga samskara will open up. I like sweet. Then I want to put it in the mouth and enjoy it. Vasana comes, desire comes. But my buddhi comes and says, don't do that, it's dangerous, it's not good for health. So then the vasana, I'm able to drop with the help of buddhi. The buddhi should be the master. Now the ego is the master. Ego will come and say, hey, let us eat it sometimes. Yeah, what is that? Big deal. Like that. So gradually with discrimination, you have to come out of the clutches of the ego. Discrimination is the way to come out of the vasana. That's called vasana kshaya. So now, manonasha. The second aspect is called manonasha. Destruction of the mind. So the mind cannot be destroyed. Nothing in the world can be destroyed. Why the Vedanta use the word called manonasha? Nothing in the world can be destroyed. Everything changes form. If I burn a paper, it will become ashes, but it will remain in the form of ashes. So mind, the manonasha means dissolution of the mind. How do you dissolve the mind? What do you call as mind? Mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. Thousands of thoughts. There's nothing called mind. Mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. And what are the thoughts about? Thoughts are always about the object. You cannot think of the subject, pure subject. Brahman you cannot think of. You can only think of the object. Thoughts are always object. There are more than 70,000 thoughts in our mind. So all of these are dependent on the I thought. All thoughts will come from the I thought. I thought is the ego sense, identity. So all 70,000 thoughts are standing on I thought. I want to go buy a book. I is there. I like book. I don't like book. This is my wife. This is my children. This is my job. I, me, my. They are the root thoughts. Okay. So now dissolution of the mind means becoming free from the thinking pattern of the mind. It's not the mind will dissolve and it will become a blank. Unnecessary thoughts will come down drastically. And whatever thought comes, they become irrelevant. So that you are not bothered. That's the meaning of dissolution of mind. Manonasha, don't be under the impression that mind will be blank and he will not be able to operate like that. It is not like that. The mind, thought, mind, nature of mind is thinking. Okay. Reduce thinking, no thinking. That's called manonasha. Mind will be there, but you will not do unnecessary thinking. What is required thinking, you will do. It is based on the I thought, but there are two situations. One is I thought drives my life, or I use the I thought to function in the world. Who is the master? Okay. So a Adnani is driven by I thought, ego thought. And his all actions are unconsciously driven by I thought. A Gnani uses the I thought for functioning in the world. But he uses it. He's not affected by it. He's not trapped by it. So there are two types of practices which are recommended. One is called Samadhi Abhyasa and Vyutana Abhyasa. There are two types of practice to come out of the habit pattern of thinking mind. Okay. Entire Abhyasa is targeted towards the I thought. Vyutana Abhyasa. Vyutana means you are operating in the world. Then what should be your thought pattern? When you function in the world, you should be able to function in the world. Then what should be your thought? Karma yoga. I don't want any happiness from the world. I can give happiness to anybody. From a beggar mentality, you have to change over to giver mentality. From a mentality of limitation to mentality of abundance. Abundance will come to you. So these actually, the limitation will cause you a lot of thinking. Let us say somebody has 100 crore rupees. He will not be able to bother 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 15 rupees, 1,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees. It doesn't bother. The thought will not come to him. But for us who have 1 lakh rupee, oh, 5,000 rupees I have to lose. $2,000 I have to lose. Okay. So the sense of limitation gives rise to a lot of thoughts. We have to understand, develop a sense of abundance. Abundance will come to us when you live with the principle of yajna. Give to grow. When you start giving, we'll grow. Instead of getting, we'll grow. We have to reverse the thinking process. Then all actions done in the world are for selfish reason. I want something. I want happiness. Karma yoga is I can give you happiness. I'm the giver. I'm not seeker. I'm not a beggar. I have ability to give. That mentality. Then becomes Even when I am giving, I'm not the doer, I'm not the enjoyer, I'm not the knower. Naham karta, naham bhokta, naham gnata. So now this will destroy the thoughts, doership, knowership, and enjoyership. The mind will become calm. Our disturbance in the mind is because of these three thoughts in the operating world: doership, knowership, enjoyership. So for that, the mantra has to be understood properly. What is the mantra? Nanu, nanembudu, nanalla, ideha, manabuddhi, nanalla, sachidanandatma, shivanannane, shivoham, shivoham, shivoham. So this will destroy your I thought in the operating in the world. It's called Yutana Avastha. In Samadhi Avastha, you go to meditation, then you are closed your eyes, the world is not there, body is not there. So then I thought is there. Who am I? That thought will destroy. Who am I? Thought will take you to root thought. Brahman. Brahman is peaceful, thoughtless. So Manonasha means again and again going back to the self through self-enquiry or nididhyasa or samadhi abhyasa when you're sitting silently. And while working in the world, karma yoga abhyasa. So what is happening? So this one thought, wrong thought, has to be corrected with the right thought. Vishayakar vritti, thoughts of the object, has to be corrected with the brahmakar vritti. Brahmakar vritti, when you're sitting for meditation, I am Sakshi, I am Brahman. That's called brahmakar vritti. When I operate in the world, naham karta, naham bhokta, I'm not the doer, not the enjoyer, not the knower. So that way, you have to attack in two ways: sitting in samadhi and working. Atmano mokshartam, jagataya. Both ways you have to address this thought, root thought, I thought. So I thought in silently when you sit think, it will become I thought. When you're working, it becomes I am the doer, I am the knower, I am the enjoyer. It takes the shape. So you have to attack, you have to hold, you have to remove that thought. So that's why Manonasha, destruction of the mind, means destruction of the detachment from I thought. So Vishayakar vritti, object oriented thoughts, it has to become what we call as Brahmakar vritti. So this is what we call as habit. Ultimately, mind is nothing but a set of habits. Programs are habits. Will habit disappear overnight? If you remove from habit H a bit, H you remove, a bit will remain. Remain HA, a bit will still remain. Remain HAB, it will remain. And finally, when you remove I, T will remain. T is what? That. Okay? So I has to be removed. Then Tat will remain. So removing of I is called Manonasha. So if you remove I, how will you live? You will live beautifully, peacefully. So then there are three things which are discussed. One is Tattvajnana or Shravanamana Nidhyasa, Vasanakshaya. Vasanakshaya, how to do Vasanakshaya? By discrimination, Viveka. Manonasha, how do you do? By self-enquiry and service. Basically, Shravanamana Nidhyasa, Atmano Mokshartam is a complete package. So now the question comes, Purvapaksha comes and says, okay, all this have to be done together. Or first 1 year I'll do this, second year I'll do this, third year I'll do this. They have to be done sequentially or together. Atmana Mokshatam I'll do, Jagata I'll not do later, I'll do later. What is your answer? It has to be simultaneous. So the example Vidyanidji gives us example. Some guests have come to their house. Okay. So then you will feed them. We'll put rice. Sambar I'll put tomorrow. It doesn't work. Rice and sambar have to go together. That's why all the three things, Manonasha, what you call as Tattvajnana and Vasanakshaya, they have to go together. It's not one after the other. So then another example he gives. So when you chant the mantra, okay, puja mantra. So you do a puja. You say Avayami, we'll do some Avayana puja. Then Arti will do tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Then puja is not over. All of them have to do together. Then Anganyasa Karanyasa is there. At different parts of our body, we install deities. Vishnu here, Saraswati here, like that. So then today I will install Vishnu here, Saraswati I will do it tomorrow. It doesn't work. Everything has to be done together. So three things have to be done together. What is that? Tattvajnana, Vasanakshaya, and Manonasha. Which means Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, Seva. Which means Atmano Mokshartham Jagadita is a complete package. It's not a part by part package. I'll do Atmano Moksha. I'll do Vedanta study today. I'll do after some time. I'll do service. When I become enlightened, I'll do some service because then I'll feel peaceful. No. It has to go together. So that's why, because mind is nothing but a bundle of habits. Habits you cannot get rid overnight. Okay, bit by bit you have to get rid of it. Finally, when you get rid of I, the T remains, Tat remains. So another example, Acharya gives. You study a subject. Let's say you go to school. You study science, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology. All of them. No. I'll study this year science only, next year chemistry only, next year biology only. You won't do that. Some things have to be studied together, done together. Okay.
But then you say that he did the sadhana in his previous life. Now he has.
I'm saying he has done the complete sadhana.
He didn't get Atma.
He could not.
See, in the spiritual journey.
Yeah, okay, I'll answer that.
At various stages. Somebody has done only karma.
No.
He's not ready for it.
I'm saying answer for your question, right? So somebody has done a sadhana in previous life. Then this life he continues sadhana and does it. Now his sadhana in the previous life was incomplete. Was not able to give fruits. Correct now? Why he didn't get enlightened last time?
Sequential is what you said. First karma kanda is said, then
No. Listen carefully. No. This is karma kanda, upasana kanda, jnana kanda is what you take. Person.
Depending upon the evolution of
Depending on the evolution of Jivatma. Now, this is spoken for a person who has come to stage 1. Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi. These 3 stages we are discussing. We are not discussing people who have not. Right? A person who has taken the enlightenment path, for him, it is recommended that all the 3 together go together. The karma kanda, upasana kanda, all those things will be applicable until you come to Shubhecha. So now there are 3 things here. What is that? Manonasha, Tattvajnana, then Vasanakshaya. So next couple of shloka, Vidyaraniji will take 2 together. Manonasha and Vasanakshaya. Vasanakshaya and Tattvajnana. Tattvajnana and like that 2 pairs you will take and analyze further. We are analyzing this in more detail in the coming sessions. Anybody has a question so far? Any questions on Zoom? Okay, let me give you an example of what is Vasana. So this is a flower. The flower, I touch the cloth, I touch to my hand. Then I keep the flower. But there will be smell left. Similarly, all objects in the world, when they come in contact with you, some smell will be left in the mind. That's called Vasana. Impression will be left. That's called Vasana. Every object which you see in the world will be Raga and Dvesha there. I like this, I don't like this. Then it will leave a subtle impression in the mind. That's called Vasana. It's exactly like a flower. Touching will give a fragrance to the hand. Any questions from anybody? Zoom? Katyayani, Purnima?
No questions. Clear ಆಗಿತ್ತು.
Habit chart ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು.
Habit ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತಾ? Sadhana is to get rid of habit. And I goes. Only T remains. T is Tat.
T remains. T only should remain. ಈಗ ಎಫಿಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಸೈರ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಈಗ one example, ಈಗ ಪಾಂಡವಾಸ್ in the last journey, so everybody dies except Yudhishthira. He goes to the heaven. When Indra calls him, he said he will not come.
Yeah.
Because of his brother. Is it not attachment or desire?
And desire and attachment both.
But he says in different language. Since I have so long I have been with them, I cannot come to the heaven alone. Something like that he says. He has so much of knowledge, but still he had an earthly attachment before.
Whatever is ultimately desire, some desire.
Some desire.
Right. So, anybody else? Purnima, any questions?
No questions, Prabhuji. That karma yoga means moving from beggar mentality to
Giver.
Giver mentality. That's very beautiful, Prabhuji. Really.
Abundance. All our life, I want happiness. I want.
Could you hear me?
Sorry. Yes, Purnima.
Ala ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ.
So basically, all our life, we want happiness from the world. We are begging. We are beggars. Give me happiness, Baba. Baba, do paisa de do paisa do paisa de do. Baba, thoda happiness de do, thoda love do. What life you are living? Give no. God has given you an abundance. Give it. You can make happiness to somebody. You can bring some smile to somebody. You can bring some a little bit give something to somebody. From a beggar mentality, come back to a giver mentality. That's called karma yoga. It's called yadna.
ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. Excellent.
So then only our I thought will go. Otherwise, I thought is always a beggar. I is always a beggar.
Hari Om Guruji. From beggar mentality to giver mentality to I am not the giver. That stage you have told very beautifully. Don't stop there, Anta.
Right.
And about the smell also, very beautifully explained. That flower leaves a smell.
That's why it's called vasana.
Before coming to this, your teachings, I was not familiar with this word vasana. Vasana andre namige smell ashte gottittu. But idu ಈಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ, even though that smell physically may go, but that smell, ಅನ್ನೋ that subtle impression, that subtle form ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So that is how these thoughts ಹಾಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ vasanas ಅನ್ನೋ term explanation was very beautiful and very clear. Thank you.
So next, tomorrow we'll have a Kannada session, half an hour. So now we are sitting for meditation. Those who want to continue can continue for another 1.5 hours or 2 hours meditation. I want to increase the meditation time.